Maya Torres had exactly 11 rounds left in her rifle when the third wave hit the embassy's main entrance. Behind her, 30 civilians were hiding in locked rooms on the second floor. Above her, the ambassador was sealed in a panic room with 2 agents. Around her, 43 hostile militants were converging on the building from 4 directions, and her 6-person security team was scattered across 3 floors trying to hold a position they were never supposed to defend alone. The communication lines were cut. The Kenyan police weren't responding. Air support was at least 40 minutes out, and the militants had just thrown their second grenade into the lobby where Maya was making her stand. She had 2 choices: hold this choke point and buy her team enough time to get help, or fall back and watch the militants slaughter everyone in the building. Some operators count the rounds they fire. Others count the lives they save. This is the story of how one Delta Force operator, 1 embassy, and 43 militants learned that numbers don't matter when you turn every hallway into a kill zone. This is the story of Maya Torres, and the night she proved that the deadliest weapon in any building isn't the one with the most ammunition, it's the one who refuses to lose. 7 hours earlier, everything had seemed routine. Nairobi, Kenya, U.S. Embassy, 3:30 p.m., 7 hours before the assault. Maya Torres was 31 years old and had been a Delta Force operator for 7 years when her posting to the Nairobi Embassy began 6 months earlier. Delta Force, 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta, the most elite unit in the U.S. military. Out of 1,000 candidates, only 10 to 15 were selected each year. Maya had been one of those 15. And for 7 years, she'd operated in Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, and Africa, the most dangerous places on Earth. She specialized in CQB, close quarters battle, building clearance, hostage rescue, high-value target capture. She was fast, precise, and never panicked under pressure. Now she was in Nairobi, part of a 7-person security team at the U.S. Embassy. On paper, it was a routine assignment. Protect the embassy, protect personnel, manage daily threats. Boring, safe, easy. Until tonight. The team was small but highly capable. Commander James Webb, 52, former Navy SEAL, 25 years of experience, 2 tours in Iraq, 3 in Afghanistan. Calm, steady, natural leader. The team trusted him completely. Rachel Kim, 34, DSS, Diplomatic Security Service, agent, former CIA intelligence analyst. She knew everything about every terrorist organization in Kenya. Threat assessment and risk analysis were her specialties. Marcus Chen, 38, former Delta Force, now private military contractor, electronic security specialist. He managed cameras, door locks, and alarm systems. Tom Reeves, 29, former Marine weapons expert. There was nothing he couldn't do with an M4 rifle. Young, but exceptionally accurate. David Santos, 41, DSS agent, medic, and secondary assault operator. He could treat wounds and clear a room in 10 seconds. Sarah Mitchell, 36, former Army Ranger, communications specialist. Radio, emergency protocols, evacuation procedures, all her responsibility. And Maya, the team's close quarters combat specialist. Everything she'd learned in 7 years with Delta Force would be used on this mission. That afternoon, the team was in routine briefing in the central security room. Monitors covering the walls showed 52 different camera angles. Every door, every corridor, every entry point was recorded. Threat level is low, Rachel Kim was reporting, reviewing intelligence reports from Kenyan National Police. Al-Shabaab activity is concentrated near the Somali border. No immediate threats in Nairobi. Local crime gangs are active but lack the capacity to target the embassy. Good, Webb nodded, but stay alert. The 1998 bombing happened here. Complacency kills. He was referring to when Al-Qaeda bombed U.S. embassies in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam. 224 dead, over 4,000 injured. Since that day, the embassy had been transformed into a fortress, but no fortress was impenetrable, especially if someone helped from the inside. 10:15 p.m., 2 hours before the assault, Marcus Chen noticed an anomaly in the camera system. "Wait," he said, leaning toward the monitor. "Camera 7, North Gate." The feed just froze for a few seconds. Webb leaned forward. "Technical malfunction? I don't know, everything looks normal in the system, but..." Marcus typed rapidly on the keyboard. "Someone accessed the loops. They're replaying old footage. This isn't real time." "How long?" "About 15 minutes. Webb's face hardened. "Which area does camera 7 cover?" "North Gate and staff parking entrance." "Check it physically, now." Tom Reeves stood up, grabbed his rifle, headed for the door. Maya also stood. "I'm going." Webb nodded. "Go. Be careful." Maya and Tom descended to the first floor, walked down the corridor toward the North Gate. Everything was quiet, normal, but Maya's instincts told her something was wrong. 7 years of field experience had created an earned intuition, sensing when danger was near. They reached the North Gate. Steel door, electronic lock, security camera. Everything was in place. Maya looked through the small window in the door facing outside. The parking lot was dark. Vehicle silhouettes were visible, and 2 minivans. Lights off, engines running. "Tom," Maya said quietly. "Vehicles. They shouldn't be there." Tom looked. His face changed. "We're going back." But just as they turned, they saw movement through the window. The minivan doors were opening. Men were getting out. Too many men, weapons in their hands. "Contact!" Maya shouted into her radio. "North Gate, enemy forces. At least 10 to 12 armed targets." Webb's voice came immediately. "Fall back. Return to central control. Now." But at that moment, Marcus's voice echoed on the radio. "Commander, all cameras compromised. South wall, east side, west side, all replaced with loops. No real-time footage." Rachel's voice came. "Webb, satellite phone is jammed. Landlines are cut. No internet. Someone isolated us." Webb was silent for 1 second. Then, "Level 5 protocol. All of you. Now. This is an assault." 10:17 p.m. As Maya and Tom ran toward the central control room, building alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed. Silent alarm. Danger signal to all personnel. When they reached the control room, Webb was assembling the team. "Situation report," Webb ordered. Marcus was looking at the screen, trying to manually control the cameras. 4 entry points. North Gate, 10 to 12 targets. South Wall, 15 to 20 targets. East Side, 8 to 10 targets. West Wall, 6 to 8 targets. Total. He paused. 40 to 50 hostiles. Maybe more. 50 militants. Against 7 security personnel? 7 to 1. "Communications?" Webb asked. Sarah Mitchell shook her head. "All lines cut. Satellite phone jammed. Radio traffic blocked. Someone's using professional jamming equipment. Kenyan police. Can't reach them. U.S. military base? Jammed." Webb cursed. Rachel Kim spoke. "This is a coordinated assault." They must have had inside help. How they looped the cameras, how they cut communications. Someone gave them information about the systems. "Personnel status," Webb asked. Sarah checked. "Ambassador Hartman is in the 3rd floor panic room. 2 DSS agents with her. Room is locked, secure. 2nd floor personnel, 12 people, withdrew to conference room. Doors locked. 1st floor personnel, 8 people, in safe room. Ground floor, 4 people, pulled back from reception area, now in stairwell. Total, 30 civilians, all in locked rooms. Good." Webb turned to the team. "Listen, 50 hostiles, coordinated, professional, and they've isolated us. Help isn't coming, at least not soon." Silence. "But," Webb continued, "we know this building. Every corridor, every door, every exit. They don't. The defensive advantage is ours. And if we can slow them down, hold them long enough, someone will notice. Someone will come." Webb looked at Maya. Torres, ground floor lobby is yours. That's the main entrance. When they try to come in, you stop them. Maya nodded. How many hostiles expected? First wave, 10 to 15, maybe more. Understood. Chen Reeves, first floor stairs. Anything that gets past ground floor stops there. Understood. Santos, Mitchell, second floor. Protect the personnel. Nobody gets down that corridor. Understood. Rachel, with me. We'll try to restore communications. There must be a way to bypass the jamming. Webb paused, looked at the team. My estimate, they'll assault from all 4 entry points simultaneously. They'll try to scatter us. But we focus. Every position will be held. Every choke point will be defended. And this building is our ground. They won't get through. Ammunition status? Maya asked. Tom Reeves checked. 150 rounds each, plus fragmentation grenades. 1 Claymore mine. Should be enough, Webb said. If we use it smart. A sound came from outside. Distant. Metal. Something being forced. Positions, Webb ordered. And good luck. The team scattered. Maya descended to the ground floor. 10:22 p.m. When Maya reached the ground floor lobby, she could hear sounds from outside. Shouting, Arabic commands, metal sounds. The lobby was a wide space. Marble floor, double glass doors, reception desk, waiting chairs. Normally filled with visitors. Now empty. And in a few seconds, it would become a battlefield. Maya took a strategic position behind the reception desk. Solid marble, good cover, clear sight lines to all entry points in the lobby. She readied her M4 rifle, 30 rounds, 4 spare magazines on her belt, 150 rounds total. Should be enough, if every shot counted. She breathed. Training kicked in. Heart rate slowed. Mind cleared. 7 years with deltaforce. Thousands of hours of training, hundreds of hours of real combat, all for this moment. Silence. Then boom. The main glass doors exploded. Explosives. C4 or similar. Smoke, broken glass, debris flew through the air. And 4 men rushed in. Weapons up. AK-47s. Tactical vests. Masks. Maya fired. 3 shots. 3 seconds. 3 hostiles hit the ground. The 4th man reflexively aimed his weapon at Maya, but he was too slow. Maya's 4th shot hit him in the chest. He fell. Shouts from outside. Sniper! Sniper inside! Fall back! Suppressive fire. A K-47 fire poured into the lobby. Bullets shattered glass, hit walls, impacted the marble reception desk. Maya kept her head down. Suppressive fire, not to hit, but to pin her down. Classic tactic. But Maya was used to suppressive fire. Iraq, Syria, she'd faced it all. The fire stopped. Reloading. Maya sprang up. 5 more men were rushing in. 5 shots, 5 seconds, 5 hostiles down. Now Maya had 18 rounds left in her magazine. A sound from outside. Metal. Rolling. Grenade. Maya crouched behind the reception desk, covered her ears with her hands. Boom! Shrapnel flew through the air. Smoke filled the lobby. Her ears were ringing, but she wasn't hit. Footsteps. Through the smoke. Running. Maya stood up, fired into the smoke. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 targets down. But the 5th man saw Maya, aimed his weapon. Maya was faster. Single shot. Forehead. Down. Now Maya had 11 rounds left in her magazine. The radio crackled. Torres, status? Ground floor, 14 hostiles neutralized. First wave repelled, but they'll come again. Copy contact on first floor stairs. Chen and Reeves engaged. Maya cursed. First floor was also under assault. Sounds from outside. More men, reorganizing. And Maya had only 11 rounds left. She changed magazines. Fresh magazine. 30 rounds. Total 121 rounds remaining. 91 and 3 spare mags plus 30 fresh. Should be enough for the next wave. 10:35 p.m. 13 minutes had passed. 2 waves repelled. 21 hostiles down. But the militants were learning. The 3rd wave came differently. They didn't rush the main entrance. Instead, they used explosives on the west service door. When that door blew, 8 men poured through simultaneously, while others provided covering fire from outside. Maya engaged from her position, dropping 3, but the others scattered into cover inside the lobby. Now she had hostiles behind furniture, behind pillars, trying to flank her position. Her magazine ran dry. She dropped behind cover, reloaded. 30 fresh rounds. The radio. Ground floor west breach. Torres is engaged with multiple. First floor, taking fire from east stairwell. Chen is down. Chen is down. Maya's blood ran cold. Marcus was hit. How bad? Webb's voice, tense but controlled. Leg wound. He's alive but can't fight. Reeves is holding the stairs alone. 5 hostiles still active in Maya's lobby. Marcus down on first floor. The defensive line was cracking. Maya made a decision. She couldn't stay pinned. She pulled her last grenade, cooked it for 2 seconds, threw it toward the clustered hostiles behind the furniture. Boom. 2 more down. 3 scrambling. Maya broke from cover, moving fast, engaging on the move. 1, 2, 3. Lobby clear. But her shoulder was bleeding. She'd taken a graze she hadn't even felt in the adrenaline, and she was down to 57 rounds. Ground floor secure, she reported, but I'm coming to first floor. Reeves needs backup. Negative, Webb's voice. Hold your position. We've restored partial comms. Kenyan QRF is 8 minutes out. 8 minutes, Torres. Hold 8 more minutes. 8 minutes. Maya could do 8 minutes. She reloaded again, took position covering both the main entrance and the west service door. Her shoulder throbbed. Her ears rang from the explosions, but she was still in the fight. The militants tried one more push at 10:39. 6 men through the main entrance, coordinated with suppressive fire. Maya was ready. She engaged methodically. 1, 2, 3. The others scattered. 4, 5. Down. The 6th man threw a grenade. Maya dove behind the reception desk as it detonated, showering her with debris but missing her body. When the smoke cleared, the 6th man was advancing, weapon up. Maya popped up, fired her last 3 rounds in the magazine. All 3 hit center mass. He dropped. Maya's magazine was empty. She reached for her last spare mag. 30 rounds remaining total. This was it. Her final magazine. After this, she was down to her sidearm. The radio. QRF is 4 minutes out. All positions hold. 4 minutes. Maya loaded the final magazine, chambered a round. 30 shots between her and either rescue or death. She heard engines outside, vehicles. The militants were bringing up reinforcements for one final push before the police arrived. And then she heard it. The distinctive roar of a technical with a mounted heavy machine gun pulling up to the main entrance. "Incoming technical," Maya shouted. "Heavy weapon!" The technical's PKM machine gun opened fire, ripping through what remained of the lobby's front wall. The rate of fire was overwhelming, rounds tearing through marble, shattering pillars, destroying cover. Maya was pinned. The technical would shred her position in seconds, then advance into the building. She had one option. Maya sprinted from cover, not away from the technical, but toward it, zigzagging as the PKM gunner tried to track her. She covered 20 meters in 3 seconds. Training, adrenaline, and desperation combining into pure speed. The gunner swung the PKM toward her, but couldn't track fast enough. Maya reached the vehicle's blind spot, came up on the driver's side. 3 shots through the driver's window. The driver slumped. The gunner tried to turn the weapon on her at point-blank range. Maya vaulted onto the technical's bed, grabbed the PKM's barrel, burning her hand but preventing him from aiming, and put 3 rounds into the gunner at contact distance. Silence. The technical's engine idled. Maya stood in the truck bed, breathing hard, shoulder bleeding, hand burned, down to 24 rounds, but the technical was neutralized. "Ground floor secure," she gasped into the radio. "Technical down." "Copy." Webb's voice carried relief. "QRF is 1 minute out. 1 minute. All positions hold." And then Maya heard them. Sirens. Multiple vehicles. the Kenyan police's quick reaction force arriving with lights and sirens. The remaining militants scattered, abandoning their assault, fleeing into the Nairobi night. At 10:43 p.m., 32 minutes after the assault began, Kenyan police secured the embassy compound. Maya Torres slumped against the technical, her final magazine showing 6 rounds remaining from the original 150. Around her, the lobby was devastated. Broken glass, shattered marble, expended brass casings everywhere, and 37 hostile bodies. 37 militants who'd learned that one deltaforce operator in the right position was worth more than 50 attackers. 6 more militants had been killed by Reeves on the first floor. Chen before he was wounded. None had reached the second floor. None had reached the civilians. 0 friendly KIA. 1 serious injury, Marcus Chen. 30 civilians safe. Ambassador safe. Mission success. 3 days later, the intelligence debrief was short. 43 militants, 37 killed, 6 captured. Al-Shabaab cell eliminated. Operator Torres, the intelligence officer, said, "Your defense of the ground floor prevented total catastrophe. 37 confirmed kills in 32 minutes. Unprecedented." Webb spoke after the briefing. "They're recommending you for the Silver Star. What you did in that lobby, that's beyond exceptional, Torres." Maya shook her head. "I just held the line, sir." "You held the line against 7-1 odds with ammunition running out. That's not just holding. That's refusing to lose." 6 months later, Maya Torres received the Silver Star for valor. The citation praised her conspicuous gallantry and unwavering courage in defending the embassy. But Maya's real moment came 3 days after the assault, when Tom Reeves raised his coffee cup. To the operator who proved one person in the right position beats any numbers. The team echoed the toast. That's what mattered, not medals. The respect of those who'd been there, who'd seen her refuse to surrender when surrender seemed inevitable. 43 militants had learned a lesson that night. Numbers don't win battles. Skill does. Training does. The absolute refusal to accept defeat does. Maya Torres had faced impossible odds in an embassy that should have fallen, conducting a defense most couldn't imagine. And she'd proven something every elite operator knows. When lives depend on your performance, when everything's falling apart, that's when one person can change everything. The militants had the numbers, but they didn't have Maya Torres refusing to let them pass. And that made all the difference.